Welcome and ni hao. This is the PostGIS Function of the Week, Episode 2. I'm Reese, and this week's episode is stdwithin. What is stdwithin? stdwithin is a function that tests if two geometries are within a given distance of each other. In fact, there are actually 4 functions. There is stdwithin, there is st3dwithin, st3d-within, there is std-fully-within, and st3d-fully-within. The 3D functions use 3-dimensional geometries, and the fully within makes sure that the entirety of the geometry is within the distance of the other geometry. Let's jump across to PSQL and have a look. Okie dokie, now that we are in PSQL, let's do a quick examination of the functions. And there are 5 variants of stdwithin. Alright, let's do a quick example. Select stdwithin. St left off the d within, there we go. And we're going to create a point. We did stMakePoint in the last video, and I spelled it wrong there as well. We're going to create a point at 1010. And we're going to create one more point at 1020. And we're going to test for a distance of 5 meters. So this should return false. Great, works as advertised. If we change this to 15, it should return true. Alright, we're good. This is of course my usual mundane example. Let's do something a little bit more exciting. Okie dokie, let us create 2 tables and a view. So let's create a schema first because I like namespaces. Let's call this one PFOTW for PostGIS Function of the Week. And we're going to create the first of our 2 tables. Let's call this pointy with a fid, serial, and a primary key it is. And then G for geometry. And this will be a point of type 3448. We can copy this. And let's rename this to poly. And this is going to be a polygon. Alrighty. And lastly, we're going to create a view. Let's call it, what do you call this? Call it too close. And this will be a view over a spatial join. So select and we're going to join the other table. So that will be and the join condition will be std within and it's it's gonna be pointy.g, right? Pointy.g, poly.g, and we're gonna use a distance of 200 meters. All right, let's make sure this makes sense. So we created our schema, our pointy table, our poly table, and our view that is over query, which is a spatial join between both tables. And the join condition is std within, the two geometries from each table, and a distance of 200 meters. Alrighty. All right, great. Let us pop into QGIS and start doing stuff. Hit refresh. Alrighty, so we have, let us add our 3 layers. Let us style them first. So too close will be a red dot. Pointy will be a blue dot, and poly can be, what can poly be? Poly can be a hash. Alrighty. No, I have turned on transaction groups, so when I hit edit here, everything is being edited at the same time. Let's add a polygon first. A nice big polygon. Alrighty, now let's add a point. Okie dokie. Looks normal. I have a point and a polygon. If I were to open the table for too close, it's empty because the point and polygon are not near each other, or not within that distance of 200 meters. If, however, I move the point within that distance, ta-da, it's red. And if I inspect the table, there's that one point. I can add more points of varying distances. And once I move the polygon away, the points are no longer within that distance. Put it back, and you see the change there. Alrighty, so what happens if I create an island, a ring in the polygon? Alright, let's move a point onto the polygon or in the ring. Alright. Oh, works as expected. Well, there you go. That is STD within. Before I go, a common use case I think I've seen people do is to create a buffer of some distance and then do an intersects. This removes the need for that. Instead of 2 calls, a buffer and an intersects, STD within does it in one go. So if you're coming from another system where that would be the case, then you only need STD within. Alrighty, so that was the brief demo of STD within. Quick point to note, STD within can use the index or an index or indices. And if you're using ST3D within, then you'll need to create a ND index. I'm going to leave a link in the top right or left to the indexing page on postgis.net, and maybe in a future video I'll touch on that as well. Alrighty, hope to see you next Thursday. We'll be doing SD Union.